Hey there, and thanks so much for checking out this video tutorial. My name is Chris with Tech Coaches, and I'm here with my colleagues at the Brain Injury Association of Waterloo-Wellington to share a little bit of information to boost your digital literacy. In this tutorial, we're going to be talking about some free video streaming services that you can take advantage of to watch some live TV, some recorded television shows, and some movies. So if you're ready, let's get into it. How we watch TV shows and movies has undergone a significant change over the last few decades. You can now watch on-demand content literally anytime, anywhere, using an app or a website on a mobile device wherever you are. There's a wide variety of streaming services available that give you a diverse selection of content, from movies to television shows to documentaries and original series. It's truly a very different content landscape today. The services that are popular for consuming videos today are what we refer to as streaming services. Streaming refers to watching video content over the internet in real time. This means that instead of downloading the entire video file to your device, you can actually watch it as it's being transmitted. To say this a little bit differently, when you're using a streaming service, the video content is hosted on a server that's owned by a provider. Maybe it's Netflix, maybe it's Amazon Prime Video. When you select a movie or a TV show, your device, whether it be a smartphone, a tablet, a smart TV, maybe a laptop computer, it's going to connect to these servers and start playing the content immediately. The video's data is sent in small chunks to your device instead of all at once, which then allows you to watch without waiting for the entire file to download. This requires that our internet connections are high speed. We need fast and stable Wi-Fi or wired internet, whatever you have available, so that you can have a seamless streaming experience. Streaming video services have been available for years. Some of the more popular examples include Netflix, Disney+, Discovery+, Apple TV+, and Amazon Prime Video. But as mentioned a little bit earlier, these are paid subscription services, and every month you will have to pay the subscription fee in order to consume any videos or TV shows available on these different platforms. The purpose of our video today is to explore some of the free tools that we have available via apps on the App Store on Apple and Android products, or if you wanted to visit them on a website, you can do that too from your computer. These apps include Pluto TV, Tubby, Plex, and Gem, offered by the CBC. Before diving into the details of each of the video streaming platforms I just mentioned, there are a few ideas I'd like to explore to ensure that everybody feels confident and comfortable with them so that you can get the most value out of using these video streaming services. The first idea is the like and dislike button that is available in most of these video streaming platforms. When I sign up for a free account, which sometimes is required and sometimes I can avoid, just depending on which app I'm using, it adds some additional features. One of these features is the evaluation of the content that you're watching, which is done through the like and the dislike button. When you enjoy something, you click a like button, and the video streaming platform will remember that type of content in the future and might recommend something like it, thinking that you will enjoy it as well. On the other hand, if you employ the dislike button, then it's suggesting that you don't like that title, the content that it was about, maybe the style of film that it was, and then the streaming platform will start to avoid that type of content in the future. The more you use these buttons, the more in tune the video streaming platform becomes with your preferences and tendencies, and it gets really good at making solid recommendations to you. In addition to the like and dislike buttons, there's a number of features and icons that we should become familiar with because they continuously pop up in the different video streaming apps that we use. Using this red laser, I'm going to highlight a couple of important ones. This here is the information button, and it'll allow you to learn more about the title that you're interested in watching. This is the share button that would allow you to send a particular title to somebody else, perhaps via email. This is the settings button or the configuration button that would allow you to change things, for instance, the quality of the video. This is the play button. This is the next chapter button. And this is the fast forward button. Other useful buttons to be familiar with include full screen, add to playlist, which would involve that you've signed up for a free account, mute audio, and show captions. Now that we've looked at these buttons and we're familiar with these icons, let's start diving into the different streaming video services. The first video streaming app we're going to explore is called Pluto TV. This platform is available absolutely free and does not require you to sign up for an account. However, if you do take advantage of the free account, you should remember that you'll have some added features, which could include saving things as a favorite title or a favorite channel, or even taking advantage of those like and dislike buttons that we discussed a little bit earlier. Whenever you're thinking about one of these video streaming services that's available free of charge, please remember that they definitely are going to have some element of advertising included throughout your viewing experience. That means that whether you're watching a movie or a TV show, from time to time there will be a pause for a commercial break. After the commercials are over, your show or your movie will pick up exactly where you left off, similar to traditional television. Now that we have that under our belts, let's continue with the demo of Pluto TV's app. When the Pluto TV app begins, it starts on the Live TV section. You can see this identified in the bottom left corner along the menu that fills the bottom of the screen. Automatically, a show begins to play from the large collection that's available, and it will show you the name of the show plus a variety of control buttons displayed on the screen. I'm going to use the arrow here to identify a few, like the volume button, the closed captioning button, and the full screen button. You'll notice after a few moments, the information will disappear automatically. And if you wanted it to reappear, you simply have to tap on the video and it will show up for a short period of time. Along the left side of the screen, you will see a menu that breaks the television shows into different categories. You can scroll up and down in this list to review the different options that you have available. Similarly, in the middle of the screen, you can start to scroll through in a similar way. If ever you wanted to change the channel or pick a different show, you would simply tap on that show when it's displayed in the TV guide component of the screen. You'll notice for each show that is displayed, it will show you the amount of time that is left to play in that particular episode. For instance, the Family Feud here has 10 minutes left, whereas Let's Make a Deal below it has only 2 minutes left. Once I've clicked on that show that I want to watch, it will display those similar controls that I showed you before on the screen just for a few moments, and then they will automatically disappear. Once again, in this example, we're going to pick a different show on a different channel, which I should mention are not the traditional channels that you would find on television. Instead, these are specialized channels that have to do with news or sports or game shows or some sort of a theme, but it's not the traditional networks that you would recognize from television. When I tap on a new show, sometimes a loading screen shows up for a few seconds, and then the episode will be displayed. If I want to make the episode full screen, I simply tap on it so that I can see the different controls that are available, and then I use that button in the top right-hand corner. Once in full screen mode, I have two options to exit. I can either push the button in the top right-hand corner, or I can push the arrow pointing to the left in the top left-hand corner. That will return me to the TV Guide channel. From here, I'm ready to use that navigation bar at the bottom of the screen to navigate to a different section of the Pluto TV app. Let's click on Demand, which is going to resemble Netflix or Amazon Prime when it comes to on-demand videos and television shows. From here, you'll probably notice that the television show we were watching from the live TV section has now been displayed and is still playing at the bottom of the screen. This will continue to happen until you pick something different to watch. In the center of the screen, we can see a number of covers for different movies and TV shows available. If we start to slide upwards on the screen, it will show us the different categories of content that are available on Pluto TV's on-demand service. There are a number of categories to choose from, as you can see here while I scroll through the list. And when I've chosen a category and a title that I want to view, I simply tap on the cover. After tapping on a cover, it displays some information about that particular title. Whether it be a movie or a television show will determine the information that I'm provided. If it looks like something I'm interested in checking out, I can simply click the Watch Now button to start the video. When the video begins to play, it will automatically go into full screen mode. Along the bottom of the screen, you'll notice a few buttons which include the rewind 15 seconds button, the pause, and the fast forward 15 seconds button. We also have a timeline where I can click on this yellow dot and drag it to another point in the line so that I can jump to that point in the movie. This is much quicker than traditional fast forward. When I'm finished viewing this title, I can simply click on the button in the top right corner or the back button in the left top corner to get out of the full screen mode. Now that we've done a comprehensive tour of the Pluto TV app, let's dive into our next video streaming program, Tubby or Tubi. I'll let you decide how you want to say it. I'm going to say Tubby for our tutorial today. When the Tubby app first opens, it shows you a variety of different sections at the top of the screen. We have TV shows, movies, live TV, which I'm going to skip over for the time being, and then there's also a kids section. Going back to the All button, which is set by default, we can then start to notice that there's some covers just below this main advertised title. If I continue to scroll upwards on the screen, then you can start to see these different categories that Tubby has available. You'll also notice that you can slide each of the rows of covers to the left and right so that you can see more titles contained within that category. If we continue to scroll down on the screen, you'll notice at the bottom there's this area with a big yellow button that says register or sign in. I just wanted to remind you that Tubby is one of the apps that do not require you to sign up for a free account, but if you do, just as this button is suggesting, it will open up additional features to those users. One of those features, as advertised here, is the continue watching feature, which would allow you to start a movie, stop it midway, and then pick it up right where you left off the next time you open the app. Without logging in, that kind of feature will not be available. When you find a title that you're interested in watching, you simply click on the cover. From there, Tubby will give you some information about that particular content, a short summary, the length of the movie, plus it'll give you some of those other buttons that we talked about before, like the like and dislike button. When I click the play movie button in the center of the screen, the title will begin to play in full screen mode. You can see for a few moments that there's some controls that are displayed, like the rewind 10 seconds, pause, and fast forward 10 seconds button, along with the minimize video screen and a couple of other buttons that are available. But these will disappear after just a few moments, and if you wanted them to reappear, you will have to tap on the screen so that you can access those buttons again. If you wanted to get out of this video, you could simply push the arrow in the top left corner, and that would return you to the information about the title that you originally started to watch. From this point, you can see that Tubby is asking if you liked the title that you were currently watching. It gives you the like and dislike button, But once again, remember it's going to stimulate that you sign up for a free account if you engage with these buttons. Next, let's take a minute and look at what we have available in the Live TV button along the bottom of the screen. This is also the same Live TV button that would have been available at the top of the screen when we first entered the Tubby app. From here, it's similar to our previous experience using Pluto TV, where we do not have the traditional television networks that you would see on TV. Instead, you have these very specialized networks that are only available on the internet. They often have to do with a theme, such as sports, reality TV, or news. You'll have a TV Guide style channel available, and just like on the Pluto TV app, for each program that's playing, it tells you how long is left in the current episode and what time the next episodes will begin. You can see these times displayed underneath the title on each one of these entries in the TV Guide, and you can also see the time that it's forecasting the next programs will begin, listed at the top of the screen. If I scroll over the menu at the top of the screen towards the left, you will see different categories of live TV shows that you can watch, such as classic TV, comedy, and game shows. From here, if I wanted to switch the channel, I would simply tap on the show that I would be interested in watching. I'm going to pick this show here. It has 2 minutes left. Let's pick another channel. We'll do the one below that after. From here, I can use the buttons that are displayed in the small playing video in the top left corner. We have the full screen button displayed right here. After I give that a tap, it will move to the full screen mode. As you can see, comparing the Tubby experience to the Pluto TV experience is quite similar. There's a lot of functions that are the same. It's just that they organize things in a different way. But once you're familiar with one, you'll probably be familiar with most. Now that we've looked at both Pluto TV and Tubby, another video streaming app that you'll feel familiar with is Plex. Once again, this is a free app and it doesn't require you to sign up for an account in order for you to watch any of the content that they have available. When the Plex app first opens, you'll notice that it resembles the other video streaming apps that we've already looked at. We have covers available to the different movies and TV shows that we can watch on the platform. And we'll also notice that it's split up into different categories so that we can sort the content available by a certain theme. When you slide down on the screen, you can venture into the different categories that are available on Plex. And please remember that scrolling down will give you more categories to review, and sliding each category to the right will display more titles available within that category. Once you've found a title that you're interested in, simply give the cover of it a click and Plex will show you more information about that particular title. As you can see here, there's a little bit more information provided by the Plex app than we've seen in the other options. You can see some reviews being offered from popular online websites that are reviewing the title and giving you the percentage out of 100 that people generally rate it. We can also start to read different reviews from people that have published those reviews on the internet. Lastly, I find it very handy to have the trailer for a lot of these videos available so that I don't have to play the movie and watch it for a few minutes. Instead, I can just sample the trailer, decide if I want to watch it, and then move on with my decision from there. As mentioned before, when you're playing videos on free platforms, we should definitely anticipate some commercials, and Plex is no different. Even though I haven't shown you an example of this explicitly yet, I did want to point out that in addition to the other two apps already discussed, Plex is also displaying ads from time to time. After I pushed that play button, I was forced to watch approximately 35 to 40 seconds of advertising that went through different streaming services, apps that I could download, and products that I could purchase. Once the advertising was finished, automatically the movie started to play in full screen mode. You'll notice at the bottom of the screen that, similar to the platforms we've already looked at, we're given a few controls that we can use while navigating this video. For example, the 10-second rewind button, the pause button, and the 30-second fast forward button. We also have that timeline that we've seen in the other apps where we can click anywhere on the timeline to jump to that point in the video. And when we're done watching this, we can push the X in the top right corner, which will exit full screen and take us back to the Plex library. While reviewing the content available on Plex, you'll notice that there's a button in the top left corner next to the word Home. When we click on that button, it's going to expand into the menu that we can start to use to review the live TV component of the Plex app. Just like the other apps available that we've already reviewed, the live TV component does not have the networks that are available on traditional television, and instead these are very internet-oriented TV networks that do not have all of the content that you would expect on television, but rather very specialized channels around sports, news, game shows, and other such things. After clicking on live TV, you'll notice a number of different channels become available, and we can see themes of the different TV stations that are available on Plex listed at the top of the screen. I can switch between reality television or the news or even the game shows, and when I finally find a show that I'm interested in watching, I simply tap on that title and it will begin to play in full screen mode. When I'm finished reviewing this show, I can simply use that X button in the top right corner, and that's going to take me back to that TV Guide channel so that I can pick the next title on the docket for today. With 3 popular video streaming apps already reviewed, Gem by CBC will definitely feel familiar when it comes to the features and the different ways that you're going to use the program. One important point to remember about this particular option is that it's the only one in this tutorial that requires you to sign up for the free account in order to watch any of the content available on the platform. But once you have that free account, you won't need to pay anything for any of the content that's available with the standard Gem app. When the app first opens, it reminds me a lot of the different options we've already looked at. There's some promoted content that's broadcasted at the top of the screen. There's a menu at the bottom of the screen that identifies different areas that we can investigate, such as live TV, the kids section, or we could use the find feature to look for a very specific title that we think might be on the Gem platform. After sliding up on the screen, you start to see the different categories that the Gem app has available when it comes to breaking down the different content themes that they have. Live TV is an option, just like we've seen in the other apps reviewed in this tutorial. However, please know that any of the content you see here is going to originate on the CBC network and not from any other source. As we continue to slide upwards on the screen, we're going to see a number of different categories displayed, and each one of those categories you can scroll towards the right, and that will display more titles contained within that particular category. Once you've found a show or a movie that you want to watch, simply click on the cover to get more information about it. On the next screen, you're going to see a summary of what the show or the movie is about, a little bit of information about when it was made and how long it is, and if you continue to slide down on this page so that you can see more information, you'll start to see if it's a television show that there's different episodes available and different seasons, and you're able to pick between those episodes and seasons as you would freely like to do. In this situation, I wanted to go from season 2 into season 1 so that I could start watching the show right from the very beginning. Let's watch that first premiere episode. When I click on the play button, the episode will start playing a couple of commercials. Once again, just like the other free video streaming apps, we should always anticipate room for advertising from time to time. I believe I watched about 2 minutes of commercials here before I was able to watch the content that I had planned to watch, and I was advertised things from online services to products that I could buy. Once the show was ready to go, it started in full screen mode, and when I wanted to see the buttons for controlling the video, I simply have to tap anywhere on the full screen video that's playing, and those controls will show up. Once again, those familiar rewind button, pause button and fast forward button are available. We also have the timeline available at the bottom so that we can click through the episode and jump to any point in that timeline. We also have a back button in the top left corner, which would return us to the previous page so that we could exit this video and find something different to watch. When we venture into the live TV section of the GEM app, you'll notice that there's news available all around the country from the CBC. You'll also notice that there's some television shows that are only aired on the CBC in Canada, and you'll see some sporting events that are once again only offered as a broadcast through the CBC. When you find something on the live TV that you're interested in watching, simply give the cover of it a tap, and then it will begin to show you some information about that particular title. If it's something that you're interested in watching, simply give that red play button a push, and the video will start playing in full screen mode. Similar to other apps we've looked at in this tutorial, when you're finished watching the program, simply push the back button in the top left corner that's represented by a left-facing arrow. Once you do that, it will return you to the original page that showed you the information about the title you were investigating, and from this point you can get back to the beginning using that arrow in the top left corner so that you can pick something else from the GEM library. And that's all for this topic, my friends. Thanks very much for tuning in, and we really hope that you got some value out of this video tutorial. Until next time, all the best on your digital literacy journey.